Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at graphing stories. So what's going to happen is we're going to watch a video, and then after that video, what's going to happen is you're going to answer the question and or sketch the graph on what you think this situation is going to look like. So remember from yesterday, we had everybody describe a type of graph, or the groups described what was going on, and you had to draw the graph. Well, now I'm going to show you a video for each of these and what's going on, and you're going to do the graph. So our first one here, it says there's a lot going on in the video. We'll think about what different measurements are changing in this video over time. So I'm going to zoom in the video. If you'd rather prefer to watch it by yourself, that's fine. And just hit play. And there's the video. So take a moment, pause this video, and type what different measurements are changing in this video over time. So since I'm pre-recording this, there's not going to be any responses. So some of the different answers that you'd see are how tall he is from the ground, how long it took him to get down, how tall is the slide, any of those things, how long is the slide, those kinds of questions. So now we're going to look at number 2, so flip to the second one. What's going to happen here is you are going to watch the video again on your own and do the height waist above the ground in meters. So you are going to look right here at his waist and see how you're going to draw this. So take a minute, pause this video, and start that one. All right, so now that you've paused it and you draw it out, let's see. So his waist right now at 0 seconds is probably about right here. It's not at 0, 0 because his waist is probably half his height. So we're going to say it starts about here. If you started down here, that's completely fine, but you should not start at 0, 0 because it says the height in his waist above the ground. That's key information on our y-axis. So let's go ahead and start drawing. So he's slowly climbing up the slide, right? And then at some point, at some point he is at the same height, and then it goes down. So remember, about right here, what's cool about this is you can actually pause the video and see where his waist is actually going to be at the same height. So it's probably about right there. That's pretty accurate. It's going to be the same height. So at this point it should look like this, and then it goes down, right? We're looking at his waist. So it should look something similar to this. If yours is a little bit higher, a little bit lower, that's okay. We don't really technically know how tall he is, so it all works out. Let's look at the next one. So let's look at our graph. When you play the video, it'll actually give you what this answer is. So I was a little bit wrong. Obviously, he is at a certain height. It looks like this. And it's going to go kind of down and a little bit up. Did you see that little swoop? And see, sometimes I make mistakes too. Remember, we're just learning about these graphs and how to create these stories. So let's try the next one here. We're looking at this cup of water. So I'm going to zoom in real quick so you can see it, but I want you to play the video and see what's happening. And then once you think you know, you're going to sketch the relationship. So did you notice what was going on in that video? What happened? Yeah, they put more water into it at this point, and they dumped it all in. Do you think my water in the bowl got higher, lower, about the same? What do you think? Well, let's sketch it out. So take the video, pause it, and sketch it out first. So we're going to sketch it. Let's see, it's slowly increasing. And then at some point, it's going to get a little bit of water added. and continue on. So remember, it's real important that the amount, slowly got added and then it continued on. So it looks something a little bit similar to that. So now we're going to be looking at number of eggs in a carton. So we're starting out with 5 eggs up here, so I know it's going to start out at 5 eggs. And let's look. Watch the video and pause. Now that you've sketched out your graph, let's see if it's similar to mine. So we know that we had 5 eggs, right? And at this point we had 4 eggs. Okay? And we consistently have 4 eggs. Sorry, that's supposed to be a straight line. Oops, there we go. So I know I had 5 eggs, and then at some point I had 4 eggs, all the way up to about 5 minutes. I had 4 eggs. So I had 4 eggs up to here, and then all of a sudden I went from 4 to 3 within 2 seconds. So then I went from here to here with 3 eggs. And now how many eggs do I have left at this point? I have 2. So I have 2 eggs starting there all the way until, let's see, right there. And then I have 1 egg. And then at that point I have no eggs all the way at the bottom. Okay? So remember, we're going to look at what the actual answers are later on in the video. So looking at this this 6th slide, we're going to look at the distance this guy is from the camera. So how far he goes away from the camera. Does he come back? Does he leave? Anything like that. Notice what's going on in this video. And then he stops it, and then is he getting further or closer away from the camera? He's getting further away. Yep. So go ahead and sketch your graph and pause the video. All right. Now that you've paused the video, I'm going to say he's about 1 meter away from it. So he gets farther away, comes close back, gets further away, comes back, gets further away, and then he stops because he's at the consistency, and he leaves further away from my graph, or from the camera. So this shows that he goes around in a loop, he comes back, he goes back around as far as he can, he comes back, and then he gets just halfway point, and then he stops it, still the same distance away, and then gets off. So the next one here, you might think, well, isn't it the same? Well, look, distance from the center of the carousel. So we want to look at where the center of the carousel is and how far away this guy is from it. So go ahead, pause the video, rewatch this little video, and decide what you want to draw. Remember, we are staying school appropriate and drawing the lines. Alright, now that you've paused the video, I'm going to say he's about maybe 1 centimeter away from the center. So I'm going to start the video here and draw. So I'm going to have this be a straight line all the way because he's still consistently staying the same distance from the center. So he's still on it, and then he goes off and about. Okay, he gets further away from the center of the carousel. So now let's look back at our answers here, and I want you to watch the answers. All right, let's see how we did. So if you hit play on yours, or you can watch it on mine, see how it's increasing. It's still the same amount. They dump a bunch of water in there, and it's still increasing the same speed. That's why there's like this little jolt up, and then it just continues on. Looking at the second one here with the eggs. All right, let's look at our egg video now. Let's see. Start off with 5. Oh, I was a little off. It went down to 4 pretty quickly, but that's okay. Went down to 3 and then 2 eggs, and then went down to only 1 egg, and then no eggs. Now, the reason why these are dashed short or long lines is because, remember, it's discrete. It's a discrete type of function. So we're not continuously having the same egg or whatever. Yeah, here we are, but we're not like gaining any eggs, losing any eggs extremely fast or anything like that. That's why they wouldn't be connected, is because each of them, if I'm taking them away or adding, it's going to be different. From this time to this time, I have 5 eggs, and then from this time to this time, I have 4 eggs, and then this time 3 eggs, 2 eggs, 1 egg, and no egg. So looking at this guy right here, let's see how we did. So he came back around. Obviously, if your loops are a little bit off, it is totally fine. They don't have to be perfect and exact. So then he stops at some point and he gets further away. Interesting. Okay, again, remember, he gets far away from the camera, comes back. Far away from the camera, comes back. Far away from the camera. And then he continuously gets further away from the camera. So now it's time to look at where he is from the center of the carousel. Let's look. Okay, so he's consistently still the same amount from away from the center, right? Even though he's moving around a circle, he is not moving away from the center. And at this point, he is. Okay. So last slide for here. You can make a gallery, little picture. Sorry, this is where your work will be displayed. You can see other people's work. If you wanted to, please make sure that even if your graphs aren't accurately correct, make sure you're not drawing anything off to the side or anything like that. Now you're going to go on to your summit. All right, so if this was my summit, remember we're in features of functions and there was 2 other checkpoints. If you haven't completed those, make sure that you do, but go ahead and click it open. Okay, remember playing catch was yesterday. Is what it is you open it up and it's a story that you are going to, a graph, and you're going to write a story to it about a ball. So today we're going to do eating raisins. Okay, you're going to look at this student. Vicente is eating packets of raisins. So the graph above shows the challenges and the mass of raisins in the packet as time passes. So how much raisins he's eating. What you're going to do is, what is Vincent doing where there's vertical lines? What do you think is happening at these vertical lines? Think about the guy who was moving around the carousel. Why are the vertical lines different lengths? Why do you think that? And did he eat all the raisins? And you're going to explain why. Pretty easy, simple checkpoint. Make sure that you do complete it by the end of this week. But other than that, have a great day and let's get learning.